Here we are, softs analysis, corn, coffee, sugar, and hogs. That's not what I really have in the slide here, but we can cover all of that. So soft stock. A soft commodity refers to futures contracts where the actual are grown rather than extracted or mined. Soft commodities represent some of the oldest types of futures known to have been actively traded. This group of mostly agricultural products may include products such as soybeans, cocoa, coffee, cotton, sugar, rice, and wheat. So yeah, they are all grown. They're agriculture, as well as all a matter of livestock. So a lot of these are NYMEX futures and aren't traded as widely by retail. Still important to keep an eye on. Specifically on the Tasty platform, we have access to a certain amount of these softs. Some of the other ones, such as coffee, sugar, and cocoa, I believe, and cotton. Those are traded on NYMEX, which I don't think have an agreement with the Tasty brokerage. I don't know if they have even agreements with some of the other brokerages. That's something for the big boys in New York to play with, or they're not as widely traded. They're more for producers and suppliers of the finished products of these raw materials, and it's really important to keep an eye on because you don't want your morning OJ to be worth like 200% more than it was last week. If it was the case, then we'd see a lot of people just buying and selling Tropicana, Homestead, a lot of pulp, orange juice just on the side of the road.
More of a light pulp guy myself.
House type of thing. Suddenly your coffee becomes worth more than gold, and then you start making it rain coffee beans at the strip club.
Personally, I think that sounds like a fun time. Just get a little spoon, flicking them out all over the floor. It's like walking through a Texas Roadhouse with the peanut shells, but it's coffee. Everybody's throwing coffee. Let's do that. That's like a Rick and Morty episode. There's an alternate universe somewhere where they're doing that in strip clubs right now.
Yeah, what comes to mind is like you're playing, like, you know how you used to play with I don't know if you do it with peanut shells or like pistachio shells, but like playing like football, you had friends put up like two finger and you flick it into the goalpost.
Yeah.
Goals. Yeah. So the first one I wanted to talk. So here's a good example of softs with a very low resolution Google image picture. So as you can see on the left, softs are corn, sugar, corn. I wonder if this is sugar down here, not some other white powdery substance. But yeah, so back to the original discussion, soft commodities versus hard commodities. And you can see, like, corn is a very, if you punch it, you probably break it. If you punch a brick of gold, I'm sure that you'll hurt yourself. Yeah. So have you seen the movie Trading Places?
I do not believe so, no.
Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, I think, if I'm pronouncing his name right. One of my favorite, this is probably my favorite movie of all time. It's a trading movie. I think it came out in 87 following the crash of 87 or right around then, maybe 86, 87. Best movie of all time. Eddie Murphy with that cash next to, I think this looks like George Washington back here, looking like a thug, looking like a proper Wall Street institutional finance bro. And here we can see Dan Aykroyd on a casual Thursday evening after the casino. I love to dress up as a mall Santa with a squiggly beard and hold my 9mm while I'm standing on a red table. Eddie Murphy is a streetwise hustler, from the streets. Not really too many opportunities, lower socioeconomic status. Dan is he's a broker for these very wealthy, old money, extremely extremely old money commodity brokers that are just very scummy and just love to take money from anybody. So and the whole premise is they make a bet that they could take Eddie Murphy's character and morph him into Dan's character. Their entire debate was, is it a result of a good environment, or is it a result of the person themselves? It was a good, almost like you can analyze it on a different level. Good psychological debate on circumstances and resulting in, if you're in a better circumstance to begin with, are you going to be in a better circumstance to where you end up? And so that's what the whole movie posits. And sure enough, by taking Eddie Murphy in under their wing and showing him, grooming him into being a professional, he actually ends up being professional. They fire Dan's character, and he resorts to violence and desperation, as you can see in this photo right here. because he lost everything. They took all his money away. They made him destitute. They treated him like he was an outsider. And so around the middle point of the movie, Eddie Murphy's in, and I'm not really going to spoil anything else. Eddie Murphy's in the bathroom, overhears the two brothers cackling about their bet that they made, and then he conspires with Dan to get back at them. That's all I'm going to say about the movie. It's an excellent movie. I would highly recommend it. Best movie of all time, in my opinion. But yeah, coffee. Ivan would love coffee. But anyway, so talking about frozen concentrated orange juice, I'm going to share this tab right here. Yeah, we're sitting at about $3.71. I don't know what the contract size of this is per 1 kilogram. Okay, so this is per pound, I believe. $3.71 per pound for frozen concentrated orange juice. I want to see like a 3-year chart, see how inflation has impacted the orange juice market. Looking at it on a percentage basis, it seems that here I want to see like the baseline. The baseline is in from like the beginning of this. Yeah, from the beginning of this 5-year period, we have had we were at $1.30 per pound of frozen concentrated orange juice, and coinciding with the larger market rally. If you add 25 to maybe I think it was 40% of existing money supply, you're obviously going to see inflation everywhere, and that resulted in a 188% gain in the price of frozen concentrated orange juice itself. Pretty interesting to think that if you just had an orange farm back in 2019, you're sitting on some pretty nice gains just from the fact that you own orange. Moving into other softs here, as I was showing you before, we have coffee right here. Unfortunately, this is the last slide that I had in this deck. I should have added a couple more. But pivot into the prices themselves. I'm going to share this tab right here, just covering on softs a little bit and just seeing how they act. Coffee cash contracts, coffee CFD. Which one should I go with here? I'm going to go with coffee cash contract.
That was going to be my choice as well. An excellent choice.
How to read this here? Maybe I'll look up coffee price chart. Let's see what we can find here on coffee. Here we go. Same thing as the other one. Coffee sitting at $1.89. Is this per pound as well? Yeah. Coffee price per kilo is $4.17. So per pound, coffee price per ounce, 12 cents per ounce, times 16. Yeah, sitting at about $1.90 per pound of coffee. Again, these commodities are more for producers and suppliers. Say you're a coffee farmer in Colombia, or you're a coffee producer in wherever they grow coffee. It's probably closer to the equator. And you don't want to have any fluctuation of your prices. You want to be sure that you will get paid a certain amount for your coffee. Say you have 1,000 pounds, you want to get paid almost $2,000 for your. Let's say you want to get paid $2 per pound for 1,000 pounds. You want to make sure you're going to get that $2,000 when you say you're going to get that $2,000. So you sell a futures contract at $2 per pound. The price is not quite there, but you take that position. You might get filled, you might not. But it ensures that you will sell your coffee at that $2 per pound at expiration. So a very useful way to lock in your prices, to make sure that you're profitable. On the opposite side of it, let's say you're a coffee producer, let's say you're Starbucks, you want to have your input costs set at $2 per pound of coffee. And so you know what your profit margin is going to be on that coffee minus variable expenses that can't really be predicted as well. It would be interesting to see variable expenses commoditized in a way. Like now we're talking like real nitty gritty psychological finance, if you will. Because if there would be a way to like commoditize time, that could be a very slippery slope on the one hand. On the other hand, it could be a very interesting theory. Like say you're a worker and you want to ensure that you're getting a specific per hour wage. Imagine if wages were commoditized. That'd be a very interesting thing to explore, and I wonder how that would work. I think that would kind of drop us into the depths of hell in a way, because then everything's just numbers on the screen more so than they are right now. I wonder how that would work. That's pretty much what unions are for, arguing for fair wages. But yeah, coffee back in 2019, sitting at a little bit under $1 per pound. We've seen a 100% increase In 2022, we were almost at 250 per pound. So, yeah, along with the overall market inflation, we're seeing this in the softs themselves. You said you wanted to take a look at corn, right?
Yeah, big fan of corn. We could also do cotton if